Hello everybody and welcome back to TCR. My name is JB and welcome back to the Platinum class. Today we're here in Baku for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, but as normal I'm not alone. I'm joined by the shiniest of gold drivers, the man who drives the orange car into sides of walls, hopefully not yesterday, Dre. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm alright.
I managed to keep it off the wall yesterday.
That was good, done better than me then. I've been thinking of funny intros for the people I'm with. I think that last week I was with the man from Down Under, which was quite funny. So
Yes.
yeah, the sparkly
And I was
golden
able
driver.
to join the stream a little bit at the end.
You didn't get a word in edgeways, so did you?
Yeah.
Nonetheless, though, we're here in Baku, and this track is a track that's new, but also old, but also, dear God, why is it still on the calendar? It's terrifyingly fast. We love this track, don't we, Dre?
We do. It's very tricky because it gives you the opposite. It's not like Monaco where it's really tight, because it can have some really tight corners, but it's not like Singapore where it doesn't give you a long straightaway. Here, Baku gives you a mixture of everything. You have the long straightaway, and then you have the tight corners, and we went through some of these corners, like the council section, and so it's kind of tricky to get a perfect setup for your car, because you can set up for the long straightaway to gain some momentum if you're in the DRS. Or you can set it up for in the corners, mainly in Sector 2 and Sector 3. So this track is very tricky, but it's also very entertaining. And we will see, based on the last 2 days and the race I participated in yesterday, I do expect there might be some safety cars, or definitely some virtual safety cars. So anyone's going to have a long strategy here, I think they should just kind of play it by ear, because there's a lot that's going to be happening this race.
Before we do anything else, Dre, would you mind running through the championship standing for us?
Yeah, sure, no problem. So right now, if we look at just the Platinum drivers, we still have a pretty tight battle between the top three, with give or take or so. So Joe Breezy in that 24 McLaren has 187 points. Followed by Seafreeze, the defending champion, has 171 points. And then the next two guys, Dougie Falcon with 145 points. And then Go-To Guy with 138 points. So those are the main top four. Some are closer than others, but those are the main top four. That's clearly the most furthest away. And fifth, we have Xandamar with 84 points. Talon, 64. Fatal, 42. KO Chin, 29, Kuzi, 28, iRoll, 24, and that's your top 10. But again, all the wins have come to that top four drivers, whether that's Go-To, Dougie, Seafreeze, or Breezy. These guys have been battling nonstop since the first race, so those are your top fours. And you can look at it now. In the qualified, Joe Breezy's on the pole, followed by Seafreeze.
Oh, Dougie Falcon in the wall at turn 8, sorry.
No.
He's managed to keep the car going.
I was just going to mention Dougie Falcon, but unfortunately he just got an incident there, so that's unfortunate.
Oh, and that's the worst time to have it. Now he's got to get into the pit lane, change the wing, get out of pit lane, and hope that he can get a qualifying lap down.
Yeah, I think he might have time
again.
But it's a long way. It's a long way to get around this track. Also, too, chipping your wing here is a death sentence, because you're still going fast enough where you will need that high speed downforce. And if you're in these corners, especially on the back straightaway, leading up to the back straightaway, it's so hard to get through those kinks. So if you lose any bit of your front wing, it's pretty much a death sentence, and you're going to start losing speed pretty fast.
Well, that was entertaining for about 30 seconds, wasn't it? You can't get through anything without Baku giving us something shiny to look at.
Oh, yeah.
This track is dubbed the modern classic in a way. It's a track that if they put into F1 in the 1980s, it would have been outlawed. This is just too fast, really.
It is, and actually, I believe it's the second longest straightaway in Formula One history. You have the long straightaway where you can easily, top out going over 210 miles per hour, especially in DRS. But then, like I said, you can come to these corners where you're going virtually snail pace. And so this type of track is definitely unique in this modern era.
What are you going to be looking for the race strategy-wise, Dre? Obviously, you raced yesterday. You had the unfortunate ability of not starting the race in a qualifying position, starting the race from the back of the grid. Did that help you come the race, or were you thinking, well, I'm going to get stuck, I'm going to be parked at turn 2 because everyone on the barrel rolled into each other?
Yeah, this track is pretty narrow, so track position is very key. So starting up front is very important to maintain and things like that. However, due to how the features of this game is, I would be surprised if there are safety cars that allow drivers to move from the rear up towards the front. And like I said, I think a lot of people's strategies is going to kind of go to fluctuate here. And so, honestly, the name of the game here is just survive. Avoid getting contact and losing your front wing. Again, that's the distance. So, name of the game, survive. That's all you have to do. And you'll be surprised if you just kind of keep your car clean, how far you can move up. As this track will definitely step out on some drivers and then lose their backs in, or get involved in some incidents.
The best option is, though, if you do crash out this race, there's a nice coffee shop at every one of the corners, so you can go off and get a coffee while you're waiting.
Yes.
I want to touch upon Joe Breezy. I believe he said to me this is the only track he's never won at in TCR, and Baku doesn't like him.
Well, traditionally, I've not done very well here at Baku, and up until the last 2 laps of last night, I was actually doing pretty decently, and I was kind of keep the car clean. But it's this track, you can never truly master it because you're always on the edge. I feel the same way about Monaco in many ways, but that's a little bit more historic, and there's more historic precedent behind it. But Baku is a more unique beast to try to master, and I wouldn't be surprised that if Joe Breezy is going to win this race, he probably won it tonight because he's won multiple times this season, and he's the current championship leader, and he's right now so far second in the qualifying, but he still has a shot. So we'll see what happens. I think definitely Joe Breezy has a shot of finally capturing Azerbaijan.
He wants to put that feather into his cap. He's currently going 1/10 quicker. Is the McLaren driver? Oh, he's locked up though and bounced over the curb. That's not going to do his lap time any good, but he's still surviving. His teammate is just in front. This is an orchestrated addition of the tow. So Damaso going to give his driver his more senior teammate a tow.
Smart.
Look at this. So
we saw some drivers at Italy last week tried to do the same thing, but I think this one might definitely help out Joe Breezy on the front straightaway. Let's see if he can cross the line and improve his time.
As he crossed the line, 219 miles an hour. I put the telemetry on just to see how quick he was going, but he is currently sat on pole position. C-Freeze is going to have to do something to get to match the McLaren. But traditionally, we see the Toro Rossos running in line astern in qualifying. Are we going to see that today, Dre?
Yeah, I think there was some great teamwork between Damaso and Joe Breezy. I think Damaso kind of knows that his chances for a championship is pretty much out the door, and he just wants to support his teammate to get him across the line. I'm not sure what Kuzi and Seafreeze are doing, but both of the Toro Rosso cars are up in the top 3, and we'll see what happens. But that was a great run by the McLarens. Looks like Seafreeze invalidated his lap, I believe.
Is this going to be the time when Seafreeze will not be on pole position? Kilchen, Seafreeze retiring. That's it. No pole position for you, Chris. Oh, almost contact between Talon and Kilchen. Almost
Seafreeze
contact there.
Has retired. He retired on the track, which is technically improper. So,
if he got in the way, he might have a little slap on the wrist.
I think he might get away with that one because he went straight across. But let's see who Nick Talon actually moves up to P2. He's just crossed the line. We missed that.
Well, on the stream we didn't. We saw Talon almost making contact with Kyochin, who seemed to be very undecided whether he was going into pit lane or not.
That was a great run by Talon there.
It was. Kersey now, the sole remaining Toro Rosso, is looking to get ahead of his teammate.
I think he's coming in, though. I think he invalidated his lap. I think he's coming in, or he might just cross the line.
He's going to cross the line now. It's going to be an improvement of the time. It's going to improve to not to above his teammate. Close, but no cigar this time round. Is Joe Breezy on another lap, or is he pitting?
Oh, I think he's coming to pits
I
now.
was going to say, if he goes even faster, then we have to give him the "Oh my God, you're too fast" award and make a whole new class for him.
I am following up with Fatal right now, and I think he's still on his fastest lap. I might be wrong. Oh, no, I take that back. But Dougie Falcon is about to cross the line now and see if he can improve from P8.
No broken wing this time. It's not an improvement.
No improvement. I think that's
he's left
about
the
it. I
session.
think that's a run.
So did Dougie lag out right at the end?
I'm not sure. I think he retired when he crossed the line. I'm not sure.
PlayStation have been having some problems recently. He
I
has
have noticed
rejoined
that
us
as
now.
well.
Nonetheless,
Okay,
though,
good.
that is qualifying over. Joe Breezy taking pole position from Talon in P2, C3's in P3. Now, C3's won't be able to say, "Wait, Talon, let me through this time," will he? Because they're not in the same team anymore.
No, not this time around, but Talon is a great talented driver. He's been up there. I don't think he's gotten a win so far this season, but he's definitely been on the podium. So it was great to see if Talon can get in there and kind of mess things up in between the top four traditionally we see.
Well, let's run through the rest of the grid order before we talk about our sponsors, or our sponsor, and news about Season 10, as I get some useless XP. So, by 2/10 of a second, Joe Breezy on pole position from Talent in P2, C3's in P3 ahead of his teammate Kersey in P4 and All Toro Rosso second row. Damaso is in P5 ahead of Sequit, who's in P6, Fatal is in P7, Dougie Falcon is in P8, and Go To Guy is in P9. Zandamar rounding up the top 10. All those drivers will be starting on those tyres. Outside top 10, and with free tyre choice, Mick is in P11 ahead of Toaster, who's in P12. R11 is in P13 ahead of Kyochin, who made a colossal mistake at the castle section in P14. P15 is Be Good Fever, P16 is Doff, P17 is the Professional, and then we'll go through the last couple of drivers as we head to the grid. But, Dre, did you hear about the news about Season 10?
I've heard a little bit. I'll let you go ahead and do it.
The news for Season 10 of TCR, for the Platinum Series at least, is that they are losing the ability to use Racing Line. So they will go completely without Racing Line. Now, next season at Baku, that might be the difference between pole position and 10th place, mightn't it, Dre?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. But we have some really talented drivers in Platinum class, and I imagine some more drivers will come in for the Season 10. But yes, that definitely will be an impact on it. See how deep these drivers go into corners. But we'll see what happens. I think Season 10 was going to offer a new breed of drivers, even though we may see some drivers up there currently. But we'll definitely see some new form of drivers with who don't use Racing Line and see how they compete in the Platinum class.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it.
I am too. Unfortunately, I would not be racing in Season 10. I will still be involved, but with TCR and stewarding and commentating here and there, but I would not be officially driving.
Ooh, you're joining me in the retired area. We have cookies.
not a permanent retirement. This is temporary retirement.
You're pulling a Kimmy. You're going to be back in a couple of years. Me, I'm stuck out. I'm not allowed to go back racing. I'm like Carol Shelby. My heart can't take it. Then again, I do commentary, and my blood pressure probably can't take it either.
Right. Let's ask our YouTube channel and Facebook friends, see who their prediction is going to be. So, who's yours going to be to win the race, JB?
Oh, I really like. You'd say Joe Breezy. He's on pole position. He's doing really well, but I want to say Talon. I think Talon's got something this week. He's ahead of C3's. Today he can really throw his hat into the ring and say, right, I want to win, and I want to do it properly.
I would have to agree with Joe Breezy as the winner. After all, he's a pole sitter championship leader. He's run multiple races. But however, I am going to go with Sequit as the dark horse in P6.
Ooh.
As he's been up there. He knows how to get across the line. So that's my dark horse.
He was heavily he was heavily frustrated last week with some incidents that happened in the race, and then some further incidents that hadn't happened in the Discord later on, some discussions which were obviously not kind. I think Secret has a point to prove today against certain drivers that are ahead of him. Segrest has been put on the board saying he'll go from first to last. That's always an option. He's always quick, is Segrest.
Yeah, Seacrest is great. I raced with him in Golden Class. So we got a few reserve drivers, Seacrest, Bam Bam, M9, who are golden drivers who are participating in this reserving in the Platinum Class. I reserved last week at Italian Grand Prix, and so it's great to see those guys up there. They're pretty great as well.
Are they as shiny as you, Dre?
Oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't question that.
Are they as shiny as you? You know how you're the shiny Golden Class driver?
Oh yeah, they're not only are they shiny, they're pretty sharp too. They're great drivers.
Oh, so the drivers are getting ready to line up. I'm looking forward to this race. We've got 26 laps of racing. How much of that is going to be under green flags? We don't know. Dre, who are you looking at the start of the race?
I'm going to keep my eye on the rear of the field to see what happens. Turn 1, starting the mid-pack towards the rear, is going to get pretty tight in Turn 1 and Turn 2. So I imagine some wings going to be flying off, and I'm also predicting 2 safety cars.
Ooh, 2 safety cars. Dre, shout if you see anything, because I'm going to follow on from the start. Waiting to see those red lights. Waiting, got the yellow flag on. Going to turn the map off, then turn it back on again. So yellow flag in 5, red lights here in Baku. The race is on now with the lights out, and it's a great start from Talon in P2. He's actually got a flying start, but then you see Secret down the inside of the Toro Rossos. He's made contact. They're round. Secret and Kersey are round, and all chaos has unfolded here in Baku at Turn 1.
Xanamar got some involved in that. He's all the way back to P19, so Secret and Xanamar are the biggest losers out of that, losing a lot of their wing as well.
Everyone's gone nuts because Talon's in P1 here in Baku. The Toro Rosso of Kersey is right the way down in P14. He managed to get the car restarted. Talon taking the lead as it goes along the second DRS straight, and C3 still in P3. What are you looking at, Dre?
I'm looking here at the midfield and watching as I roll and the KO Chin kind of follow this line of drivers here. It's like there's a kind of a battle between the Williams and the Ferraris. But so far, pretty single-filed here. I think everyone's getting around through Sector 2 so far.
Through Turn 8 for the first time. No yellow flags at this moment as the leaders come barreling through this incredibly tight castle section. Bam Bam passed by Secret. Further on in the background as we look at Joe Breezy trying to get his claws into Talon, but Talon wanted to run away in his Alfa Salva car.
Well, Talon's goal is to get away from Joe Breezy in the first 3 laps, at least build a 1-second gap so he doesn't get involved. It doesn't have the DRS take away from him, because that first 3 laps is very crucial, because that DRS is very, very powerful here on the front 2 sectors.
Joe Breezy also needs to be aware that C3's, the defending champion, is coming closer and closer to the back of him.
Actually, but Joe Breezy making a move right now on Talon on the first lap. So look, Joe Breezy is going to retain the first lap and lead here at Azerbaijan.
Whether Talon's going to allow that to continue, I don't know. But Joe Breezy is not enjoying that high fuel car. Sorry, he seems to be struggling a bit on the in the corners, especially. Oh, Talon losing the rear end as he taps the wall, managing to get it powered back up again, and yellow flags rain at Turn 1. Segrest must have made contact with Begood because Begood is dropping back, and there's a whole host of cars there. Dolph Van Hoyst trying to pass M9, who's trying to pass Professional. They're all going absolutely mental, and only like Baku could.
M9 gets it back of Professional just a little bit there. We got a tight
Professional
battle.
has damage. He has damage on the front wing.
Cars trying to take over each other, yeah. Losing a front wing, you lose so much time around here, especially in these short shoots. Cars taking over each other. Segrest going for P16 over Dolph House. Oh, Dolph loses just a little bit there. Oh, and so does Bam Bam lose it there a little bit as well. It's so easy to, something we failed to mention, the degradation here is absolutely paramount because you make one small incident, next you know your tires are virtually on fire.
It seems that there's some front wing in the castle section right now, so someone's lost a nose plate in there. It might be Talon.
Oh, we got a driver straight off. That's KO Chin.
The Williams straight in the wall.
And he can't necessarily just back up because everyone's right there behind him, so he's kind of stuck there until the traffic's gone.
The advantage is ghosting is on for this race. Traditionally, ghosting is off in TCR, but for street tracks and tracks like this, they have put ghosting back on. So he could have just reversed back into racing, but he's too used to just waiting. There, side by side though, is C3 looking to pass his former teammate there up the inside. His teammate's not giving him any space though. Talon swooping around the outside and going, no, pass me again in a different place.
Dougie side by side with a go-to guy, and they're both trying to look on Damaso and that other McLaren. But Dougie and Fatal, are side by side battling for P5.
Damaso's weaving all over the place.
I think he's trying to break that slipstream.
And C3 has said that I'll try overtaking at another place. He's done the inside of Talon. He's going to swoop round to the outside. Is Talon going to still hold him there? Talon having to rescind the position and say, I will be P3 for now.
And that little battle there has allowed go-to guy to build a nearly 3.5 second lead over C3. So C3's back up in second, trying to chase down the leader. It's kind of pretty reminiscent of the point standings right now, but C3's got to keep his head down and keep moving along to catch up to Joe Breezy.
Through the castle section once more, Doff Van Hoist now with a time penalty in the Alfa Sauber. That's going to be pretty dire here, because you need that time. You need to be able to get the race without any penalties, right, Joe?
Right, too. Yeah, there's a few spots where you could pick up a penalty, right? The section, right, the corner right before the castle section is notorious for doing that because it's just very easy to overdrive that hump there and cut the corner. However, it's lap 3 now, and so now drivers are in DRS range, and so the majority of the drivers are now entering the front straightaway where they can capitalize on that DRS. And let's see all the battles leading up to turn 1.
If you thought the drivers would calm down past lap 3, you clearly have never seen a TCR race. Here comes Dougie Falcon, looking to pass Damaso, looking to the inside line. The Red Bull is going to pull in as he passed the McLaren.
Oh, he cuts him off there. He tried to cut him off there and make contact. And even Fatal gets involved in that a little bit.
I think
Damaso and Dougie... guy on the outside a little bit.
Oh, Fatal almost ploughing into the back of Damaso. I wonder if Damaso and Dougie had a conversation before this race on the grid, and there was a bit of insult, so Dougie just saying, right, I'm going to get through. Go-to guy, though, on the alternate strategy on the medium tyres, so the inside line on Fatal, and it's not a fatal move, luckily, but there's Toaster coming closer and closer to the back of these two.
But also, too, those soft tires will only last maybe 5 or 6 laps. They would fall off pretty quickly. And so you can start seeing with Fatal starting to fall off, especially when he's battling. He just, without the driver, he makes his tire degradation go pretty higher. And so we'll see what happens. But I think they should be off those tires in the next 2 to 3 laps.
I think we will sector 4, sector 1 yellow flag. That seems to be Kersey. Contact with the wall, though, for Fatal. I think that's Kersey in the wall. Has managed to get the car
restarted. Yeah, Kersey in the wall there. That's unfortunate for him because he started off pretty well in the top 5, but unfortunately, situations just got him back on the grid.
Fatal getting close to being swallowed up by Toaster. Now, I mean, on the subject of tyres, we saw Talon has dropped back massively. I think he's really suffering on his tyres right now. Oh, yeah. Toaster almost nailing the back of Fatal. Now he's got to give up the position to his teammate. Crikey, a double lock-up for Toaster, and he almost nailing the back of it. Take the 2 yellow flags. That's Kersey once more.
Yeah, Kersey's tires are
safety car. Safety car. We have a safety car.
Now we have our first safety car. Let's see if anybody jumps to the pit now. I think Fatal's going to be the first one that comes in the pit. That's a pretty smart route for Fatal since he's on the softs. He's going to probably jump to the hards.
Drivers in pit
Everyone's
lane.
into the pits behind them.
C3's, Talon, Dougie Falcons, Damaso and Fatal into pit lane. Image of Kersey right now. He's on 2-lap-old hard tyres and he has a knackered front wing.
Unfortunately, biggest loser out of that is Joe Breezy. Unfortunately, he was probably past the pit lane and by the time the safety car came out. That's just unfortunate. But C3's and Dougie Fountain Talon's able to jump into the pits.
That's one safety car. That's what we got. I think I was talking to a couple of drivers and they said, oh, we might get 5 safety cars, like two virtuals and 3 full safety cars. But Dre, I mean, that's 5 laps of racing. What a show already.
Yeah, it's 5 laps. We have already seen the lead change. We've seen some luck down. That started pretty promising, but then unfortunately got to the rear of the field. But we still have nearly 20 laps to go, so a lot could happen.
just looking at the 25 car of Kersey, is being lowered down, and Vittorio Rosso is released off into the racetrack. He's on the medium compound tyres. Do you think he has any tyres left? Because he's been in the pit lane now, I think, 3 times. Or
Oh, wow.
twice.
Yeah, that's okay. And as long as you still have those hards at the end, I think that'll be fine. But, 2-stop here is not uncommon. There are tracks that 2 stops actually works better than a 1-stop, and I think here is one of them.
So, currently, Joe Breezy has a gap of 10 seconds to go to Guy, obviously at a pit lane. So let's look at the biggest movers and shakers after 5 laps of racing. The position changes as we see Joe Breezy heading into pit lane. Whoa, almost sideswiping the car against the wall. I think the biggest mover is actually Segrest, who has gone up a whopping 13 places. I think he'll go for 14th one as well, because the McLaren pit crew aren't as quick as you'd hope they are.
Right, yeah, and again, that's just the fortune of the pit stop. But Team McLaren did a great job, and now it looks like Joe Breeze is going to come out P4, which is not a bad position. He was actually the first driver that's going to be on the hards, followed by Seafreeze. So the top 3 drivers will definitely still have to pit before this race is over.
It is crucial that he is ahead of Seafreeze in this race. Yes,
he's so far maintained the last several races. He's been maintained over Seafreeze, but it's still a very, very tight points battle. Oftentimes they finish 1-2 or vice versa in a lot of these races. But don't count Seafreeze out. Anything can happen. We still have 20 laps to go, and Seafreeze or Joe Breeze can find himself in the back of the pack or DNF. So anything can happen.
Well, Joe Breezy, last time he was battling Seafreeze as violently as he will be today, he was in Germany, from what I remember, and he'd ended up getting black flagged for an unknown reason.
Yes, unfortunately, he did have that DQ coming across the line on the last lap, but that was resorted post after the stewards, and then he did really well last week as well. And then here he is, starting on pole and led some laps, but we still got a ways to go. So I think Joe Breezy still has a pretty good position along with Seafreeze. But when these safety cars keep coming out like this, it definitely throws everyone's strategy out the window.
So while we're looking at the TCR safety car sponsored by Dre's Underwear, I was hoping I'd get a reaction from that one. Let's just talk about TCR's sponsor. Now, if you didn't know, TCR is actually sponsored by Fanatec. Yes, those guys, the people that make the whopping great big steering wheels, which I can't seem to drive because I have no muscle mass on my arms whatsoever. Within that, if you do decide to order a Fanatec wheel, make sure you do it from the link below in the description. Don't look now, it's not there yet. Wait until after the stream is uploaded and processed and all of that. The description will be edited and there will be a link there. So, check that link, make sure you tell them it was from TCR, and they'll send some money towards the league, and that'll help us get all sorted for our eventual Season 10, when we wish to see Seafreeze race with a helmet on. That is the bet, isn't it? If we get enough sponsors, we can get Seafreeze racing with a helmet, because that'd be great.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. Yeah,
full race suit as well.
Yes. We still have a few more cars that come in the pit. Damaso just came out of the pits, and now Kuzi and M9 are now finally catching up with the rest of the pack. So we should be going green flag this lap.
I want to talk about Talon for a minute. He's done well to stay in the top 10. Because his tyres were severely wearing. I still think there's pace in that car. I still think the 91 is going to get somewhere close to podium today.
Oh yeah, definitely Talon is one of the top drivers in the league. He is a little ways back there, but the car in front of him, Seeker, is still in the medium, so he'll definitely have to pit. So he's still in the ballpark of Joe Breezy, Seafreeze, and Talon. And Falcon, but if Talon can get through there a little bit, past a few cars, he can maintain with the leaders. But that DRS is going to be very powerful no matter who's the leader, and try to break away from it. So if we can get a pretty good tail on the front straightaway, I think he can maintain with the rest of the drivers.
Let's just look at the top 4. We really have a race of 2 halves right now. The top 3 haven't pitted on the alternate strategy. They're going to be quick off the line, but they're going to start to suffer soon. That's race 1. Then race 2 is between Joe Breezy and Seafreeze. So this could trip up over each other, couldn't they?
Yes, so Joe Breezy, Seafreeze, Dougie, and Talon, those are the effective leaders after these medium drivers get off on go for their second pit. And so, and that's actually the exact replication of what's happening in the point standings. So it's a kind of interesting battle that's happening off the track, but on the track as well. As go-to guy slows down the field, safety car is going to be here shortly, and we're getting ready back up to go green flag.
What a terrifying sight. 20 racing cars weaving in such a short area. It's the most terrifying sight you can ever see. And I've said that from a whole track for the 60 cars. But go-to guy has gone.
Gets a great start. Gets a massive start there.
Remember, no one can overtake yet. There's a move almost in the background between what seems to be Talon and Seagrass. They're racing each other already. Talon doesn't care. He's going to have to let him back through, and that's going to open him up. There goes Bam Bam up the inside. The Golden Class driver getting his nose in.
That's a great move by Bam Bam. Talon, unfortunately, lost out on that, but that's okay. Still got plenty of times, just as long as he stay with the other effective leaders. But Bam Bam loses back in a little bit, allowed Talon to come back up.
Race restarted here at Baku, and 8 laps completed, 3 under safety car, and everyone's well behaved. Toaster locking up though. His tyres are going to be the size of a 50p piece soon.
Yeah, I'm following along with Joe Breeze, who's really on the back of the Ferraris right now. We're on the medium tires, so he's still sticking with them. Actually, when the restart happened, I thought he might make a move on iron.
Something's happened. Zandemar's in trouble. He's been passed by Damaso, and there's Kersey up the inside. He's hit Kersey though. A little bump on the side of the Toro Rosso.
Him again.
It's NASCAR all over again.
Yeah, Kuzi takes a look on the inside, but Xanamar and Kuzi, they unfortunately been involved with some incidents, and they've been kind of in the back of the pack since the start of this race. But this might be their best chance to try to make some move and work their way up through the field. It won't help if they keep battling and costing each other time.
Kersey is very impatient. He wants to get past the American-owned Haas team.
Yes, and actually Toaster is
oh my goodness me, how close was that? They made contact twice, 3 times now, and they're in the wall! Zandemar... Kersey restarted the track. Now, whether that's allowed under the regulations, virtual safety car deployed, whether that's allowed under the rules, he saw him hit the option button, then hit restart the track, so his car would be facing the right direction. In my book, that's not allowed.
We'll have to look at the rules about that. I have to double check, but I definitely saw Kuzi take a look on Xandemar, and either some type of contact where they kind of bounced off each other, but they both missed a breaking point and they were in the wall.
What happened?
They both lost out on that.
From my point of view, as virtual safety car comes back in, we'll discuss this later on in the race. But we saw within that, Kersey obviously returning to pit lane, and go-to guy in pit lane as well. What are you oohing at? What have you seen?
Xandemar almost actually lost his. He almost DNF coming into pits. He hit the wall pretty hard on the inside there, but he has absolutely no wing whatsoever.
Zandemar is going to be quite upset with that move. And Kersey, almost 2 weeks in a row now, the center of attention from drivers.
Yeah, I'm watching Joe Breeze right now and taking a look on iRoll now. iRoll did not get a very good exit there. I think Joe Breeze is going to take. Oh, iRoll blocks him.
This isn't really an overtaking opportunity, though. Here is it.
Right, yeah, I think I was going to say he might just wait till the front straightaway where he can have the DRS and slipstream to kind of really propel him forward.
Or unless you're Kersey down the hill or down here.
Yeah, but Seafreeze is on the back of Joe Breeze as well, so he's sticking right with them.
So, Seafreeze has got to hope that something happens, but Seafreeze is able to keep the power planted. I think Joe Breeze lifted off a little bit there, so he didn't hit. God, they all took that curve. Right there. Is there any floor left on these cars?
That's why I was like, hope he didn't lose the back end there, but he managed to kind of bring him back together.
Dougie Falcons is hunting. And we got all four engine manufacturers here, I think. Almost all 4. 2 Hondas, 1 Renault, and 1 Ferrari. The Renault-powered McLaren looking on the outside of the Ferrari. Ferrari's going to drop back.
The Ferrari, he's not losing as much time as I thought he would on the front straightaway. That allows Seafreeze to come up a little bit further, but a little lag there from iRoll.
I
Joe
really
Breezy
thought
gets ahead.
I wondered there if Seafreeze was going to try up the inside of iRoll, but iRoll, Captain Quebec as I name him, is doing very well. Secret passing Bam Bam on our timesheets. As now we look at
I
Iroll.
is looking at
Oh,
taking a
God!
peek.
Wow, that was close! Seafreeze having to make the overtaking opportunity on Iroll because he didn't expect Iroll to break that early. And he's turned it.
Oh,
Very well done.
Oh, gets in the wall
Whoa.
there a little bit. Seafreeze
He was
gets in the wall there a
tagged.
little bit.
Tagged by Iroll a little bit. So, but that shows the mark of a former champion. Seafreeze really showing, oh, this is not going to end well if I break now. If I don't move, I'm going to hit you.
Yeah, Iroll was trying to play smart there and not lose another position, but at the same time, Seafreeze was right on his rear, so Seafreeze had nowhere else to go but to dart out, but they had a little battle there.
We've had 2 safety cars in this race, 1 full safety car, 1 virtual safety car.
Joe Breezy looking.
He's done it.
And
there's damage.
Toaster just let him go.
I think there's damage on Toaster's car, that's why.
Gotcha.
Let's see if I can get a good look at his nose. Ooh,
and he lets Seafreeze go as well.
Yeah, he's pitting this lap, that's why. He's just got to make sure he doesn't trip over his teammate. 72 car of Toaster.
This is going to hurt Dougie Falcon right here. If they go through this that's pretty slowly. Okay, I think he got through it pretty clearly.
Here comes Dougie. Dougie's got to know what's happening here. DRS is going to open on Dougie's car. Does Toaster bail into pit lane? No, he doesn't. So with a damaged front wing, he's there to try and get in the way of all the drivers. He's braking in a straight line. Here comes Dougie Falcon. The outside line. Oh, there's contact between Dougie Falcon and Iroll.
Talon makes a big move on Seekers as well. I think those medium tired drivers are starting to really feel it compared to the hard drivers.
And Joe Breezy under pressure from Seafreeze. Here he comes. Champions fighting. Champions looking to pass. And Seafreeze is trying to make contact in his round.
Oh, they make contact.
And that's all gone wrong.
Iroll. I think Joe Breezy got a pretty bad exit in turn 2. That allows Seafreeze to catch back up to him.
Was there any damage?
I saw any wing damage. That's what I was going to say. I don't think so.
Oh, Iroll. There might be wing damage now. They're all
Iroll, he's trying to
scrambling.
take advantage of that. Those Ferraris are definitely in the mixer with those top leaders, and I don't think Seafreeze and Joe Breezy or even Doug is pretty happy with them right now.
I don't think Seafreeze and Joe Breezy will be talking at the end of this race after that move.
But they kept together. And I didn't see any obvious wing chip, but there might be some end plates missing on a few of those cars.
Apologies for the cover up there. Apparently I have a new follower on PlayStation, which I didn't even know was a function. Okay.
But that incident allows Joe Breezy to drive away a little bit, away from Seafreeze. He's already built a 1.3 seconds of gap between them, but that also allows Dougie. It's coming fast on Seafreeze.
Kersey has lost it. Kersey is retired on track.
And
safety car deployed.
Seafreeze is coming in to fix that wing. So is the leaders. So Breezy and Seafreeze are coming in. They must have some kind of damage. Iroll is in the pits. Talon continues on.
If you look now at the on board here with Zandamar, Kersey's car, he has retired on track. Fatal has retired in pit lane. Fatal's retired on track as well, by the looks of it. No, it's Kyochin. But Fatal has retired in pit lane. So, as a steward, Dre, this has now affected everyone.
Yes.
Would you penalise Kersey?
I don't know. It depends on the situation. I didn't see if he crashed on the track or...
His car's still moving. That's the thing. If we look on the track map, his car is literally just despawned now. From what I can only assume, now this is obviously me being a guy who's looked at racing a lot. I've been doing commentary a lot on this game and a lot on every game from F1 since around about 2016, the early days of the 2016 game. What I can assume happened there was he made contact with the barrier, and after such a busy race for him, he's decided enough's enough, and he's just retired.
Yeah, we definitely have rules against rage quitting and things like that.
Are you going to lose a sponsor like Bubba Wallace?
Well, hopefully not, but because Toro Rosso definitely wants to highlight their new sponsor of AlphaTauri, but I'll let the Platinum stewards decide the fate of Kersey. And yes, it did bring out a safety car, and that does undermine other drivers' strategies, but I'll leave it up to them.
Sorry,
at least Dougie Falcon and Talion into as the leaders, the effective leaders now. Someone we haven't talked about is Mick and the Renault. He's doing pretty well right now. He's up in the top leader. So we have some Be Good. I think this is the highest I've seen Be Good up in the top lead for a while. And we definitely have some golden drivers of MH and up in the top 6 as well. So they're doing a great job.
I think Mick is he's very under the radar as a driver. I rate him. The secret sits in AI mode, checking the race director, see what penalties are around him. Mick, I feel, is looking for a good result today, and I hope he gets one, because last week he was involved in an incident under the bridge at in Monza. Who made contact with him? I think it might have been Kersey, actually.
I'm not sure, but he did spin on the first lap. I remember I drove right past him when I was reserving on the Platinum class last week.
Look who's in pit lane.
C-Freeze
in pit lane once more.
Did he get more damage?
Yeah,
he might
it's
have
a
hit
nose.
the wall somewhere.
New nose, and that's drama. The Haas team are ready as well. Sorry, the Williams team are ready as Kjolchen comes in. I love saying Kjolchen's name. It's my favourite name to say.
Do you think C-Freeze may have... when the safety car came in, he came in pits pretty quickly, right? When the safety car came, do you think he might just accidentally miss his strategy to repair his wing?
That's very possible. With it, I think there may have been contact with a wall because under slow speed you can easily just lose concentration and just clip a wall. But medium tyres from now, not a bad shout, is it?
I think they will hold. But if he's trying to work his way up to the field, that's literally half the race, and I imagine there'll be another safety car. So far, my prediction is correct. We have 2 safety cars, but if we're only halfway through the race and we have 2 so far, I imagine more will just come. Safety cars breed safety cars.
This is a drama-filled race. I can imagine what it was like for Golden last night. Obviously, I didn't get my double dose of TCR this week. Last week I was on it twice, and I really enjoyed commentating on both races last week, from Golden class and from Platinum class.
Yeah, it's a lot of drama. I definitely experienced just it, and I definitely watched it on Tuesday, and here I am now in the commentator's booth. Definitely see a lot of drama going on. But safety car is in this lap. Dougie Falcon leads them. Will lead them to the green flag. C-Freeze kind of cuts the corner there a little bit. I don't think he got a penalty, but that was kind of close. He's in the rear. But let's see how Dougie Falcon set things up. And Talon's on his rear.
He's not letting him go. He wasn't letting him go originally. When does Dougie drop it? We're going to watch on board with Talon. Is Dougie going to go in a minute? He's bucking him up. He's still weaving. Still rolling at a slow speed. When's Dougie going to drop the hammer? There he goes. Full power to the Honda engine in the back of the Red Bull, and we're going back to racing here in Baku.
Look at Sequence in P3. He's getting a good tow on Talon as well. So these top 3 drivers are breaking away from each other.
We got a 3-wide battle further on in the background between Professional and Go-To-Guy and a few other drivers. They're all going
Talon
mental.
loses back then a little bit there in turn 1, but he's managed to keep it together in turn 2. We got the Mercedes of M9H making a move on Mick and the Renault, so we got a battle with the McLarens right now. Excuse me, with the Mercedes.
Joe Breezy side by side with iRoll. We've seen it happen before. Big crash.
Go-To Guy gets rear-end by someone. I'm not sure it was, but
it
then
might
loses.
have been Mick. I think it's Mick. It's Mick. Mick in the Renault. We've cursed him. We've done it again. Dre, why don't we allow them to commentate?
That's unfortunate because Go-To Guy was doing really great in the Haas. He was actually led some laps today, but unfortunately got involved with the incident, so the stewards should definitely take a look at that after getting rear-ended that way.
Through the castle section for the first time once more, a long racing speed. Secret is still trying to get past Talon. I've got a secret, and that Talon is not going to let him through.
That was beautiful there.
The puns are getting really bad, aren't they? We need the socialization to stop so I get some new material.
No, that was actually pretty smooth there. I loved it. But Joe Breezy is still fighting here, trying to pick up with iRoll for P7. He's going to be on the straightaway, and Joe Breezy has a pretty strong straight line speed, and so he's definitely going to look on iRoll, maybe in Professional here before this is over. But C-Freeze is trying to pick up a few cars here as he picks back up on the pieces where he had to pit twice unexpectedly.
Talon putting pressure on Secret to go to the outside line. He has forced him. And Secret is going to... Oh, they contact... Whoa! Secret almost bounced into the wall and he'll cry. Talon, that was unnecessary. Was it?
This is some tough battling here. Seafree is definitely hard to...
Oh,
Kyochin
no!
retires.
He's in pit lane, so it's okay. That's sad. I like Kyochin. I like saying his name.
Go-to guy and Mick, they're all in the pits right now after that incident on the restart of the safety car.
So Kyochin out the race. That is 3 cars out of the race. 2 with damaged cars. Well, 1 with a damaged car, I believe, a fatal. Actually, I think all of them were retirements of their own option.
Yeah, I'm right along with Seafree. Seafree's just trying to get through these cars, but they, this long line of trains, of drivers, kind of you lose so much time, and the track is very narrow, so it's hard to pick up positions. So it's going to be a hard way for.
Yano Trini would be very proud of all of the Truly trains we got today.
There's a lot of trains going on here. It's very single file. It's very narrow track. And Seafree's almost loses the back end there, but he keeps it going.
Let's find someone to look at. Dougie Falcon has a 2-second gap at P1. Here's Toaster on the back of Doff Van Hoyst on the stream. Doff locking up just before we head on to the final run onto the straight. I think Doff is an underrated driver. Obviously, we can see this from C3's point of view, but Doff is a really underrated driver in Platinum so far.
Yeah, Doff is a really great driver. Haven't had much luck this season, but sometimes it depends on the season, depends on the car, how you feel in your competitors. But he can definitely be up there contending for big wins sometime in the near future.
Apologies for the lag there as we headed on to lap 16. And Toaster going way wide at turn 1 and looking for a place to park for that coffee shop. Oh, and contact back on the track into Bam Bam, into Go-To Guy, into Zandamar. And you gotta say, that has to be Toaster's fault.
Yeah, Toaster realized his issue. He has now stopped on the track.
He's got his hands, his helmet, and his head.
I think he's now retired. It looks like he's... Okay.
Is he moving again? He's moving again now. As Seagrest gets passed by C3s. So Seagrest is now going to be relegated outside of the points. But you'd understand that with the man on the medium tyres wanting to make a move. I think Toaster's back at the full speed. I think he just had to have a moment to think.
Taking a look on Seagrest.
Ooh!
He's going to try to take advantage of it. Like on the outside, you really see that there. But that was a great move.
I wonder if Seagrest seems to be struggling.
He may have some damage I can't see at this point of view. But Seafreeze is trying to get back close to Breezy as much as possible to minimize the impact of points. We have 10 laps to go. 1
car between Joe Breezy and Seafreeze, and that car is Doff Van Hoyst. Will he doff his way and let him through, or will Seafreeze have to freeze the track in front of him to get through?
DRS should be enabled this lap after the safety car, if not next lap, and so Seafreeze may have the advantage with the DRS.
I don't think he needs it. Look at the stream. Look at this to the inside line. DRS open. Can't see it from this angle, but we can see it from this one. Doff Van Hoyst relegated now into P10. Seafreeze.
Joe Breezy makes a move on professional now, so that's another car between Seafreeze and Joe Breezy.
Seafreeze is going to be thinking, for God's sake, will you guys get out of the way?
But so far, Dougie Falcon is running away. He's building a 2-second lead. And if he can maintain, if no safety cars, I think, Dougie Falcon may run away with this race run. But Talon, he's a great driver. I don't know if he has enough to take on Dougie Falcon at the moment.
Drivers in pit lane, Toaster and Zandamar. The Hasses are going to feel really hard done by today.
And so far, a great run by both of the Mercedes, P4 and P5, especially B Good. I know he's had a lot of bad luck this season, but he's doing really great so far. I just got to keep together, and I think he'll have a good finish.
Following on board with the professional who's looking to pass Joe Breezy, who's actually looking on the back of R11, the man we just talked about, B Good. And B Good, he's another driver that's a little bit underrated in Platinum.
Yeah, he's unfortunately got involved in some instances this year that kind of relegate him to the rear of the pack, but I think he's kind of keep it together, and I think he'll have a good shot at getting some good points today. I feel like he has a lot of unlucky situations that happened to him this season.
He's being protected by his teammate with DRS as well, which is very helpful for the Canadian driver. As now we look at C Freeze, who's looking to pass the professional, looking to go already round the outside line, then to the inside line.
Professional's lagging out there a little bit. But
Good,
so
that wasn't just me.
He has DRS too, so he's been maintaining. He's going to try to go deep inside on the outside. No, he lets it go.
Joe Breezy's in the wall!
Oh, Joe Breezy!
No, the championship leader making contact with iRoll and
iRoll, they're still side by side.
iRoll needs to learn that you don't need to force him into the wall there.
Joe Breezy loses the end play, but he definitely has wing damage. But,
he's lost everything. That's race done for the champion.
Seafreeze is involved in that, but he does get much damage. Oh, Joe Breezy is locking on majorly. He has no front downforce. He will have to come to the pits.
I know exactly what happened there.
Unless there's another safety car, but it's a tight train.
I think what happened
P2
there
on down. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Joe Breezy. No, it's absolutely fine. Joe Breezy went to the inside line on iRoll. iRoll then tucked him straight into the center corner wall, which then he clipped, and there's the time penalty. So Joe Breezy obviously clipped and then bounced off the wall, then hit iRoll. iRoll then cut straight after he had damage as well. iRoll does have damage. He then cut across Breezy and forced him to try and go towards the other side of the wall, and that's iRoll. That's driver speak for I'm not happy with you.
Freeze! What is he doing there? He almost lost it there with Doth. That was a very... I thought he might go for it, but that was an impatient move. He sees the blood in the water with Joe Breezy, and he's being impatient, which I understand, but...
We've seen all of this before from a previous Renault driver a few seasons ago at Monaco, haven't we?
Yes. Joe Breezy has major wing damage. And Seafreeze... that's Joe Breezy.
Remember we said that he had bad luck at Baku?
Oh, yes. Oh, man, we got a 3-wide battle. But now Joe Breezy is going to head into the pits here. We got a Renault and two... oh, wow.
We can't commentate on this. We're just holding our breath. We don't know what to say. I think
I didn't know what's going to happen.
Honestly, I'm utterly shocked that iRoll would do that. To be honest, then I remember it's iRoll.
that was pretty naughty. I don't know if they were still locked onto each other or he was pushing him. I couldn't tell.
I think he was turning into him. To be completely honest.
Yeah. That was pretty a naughty move by him, but again, that's up for the stewards to decide. We'll see what happens. The Seafreeze, definitely not the greatest day, but he definitely still maybe won the day if you consider points-wise.
His bad day has become Joe Breezy's worst day.
Yes. Ooh! Doth gets into the castle section, loses a little bit of his front wing.
And that will help Damaso.
Also, Sequit is on to Talon. He is now in DRS range, and there might be a 1-2 Red Bull here at the end of this lap.
But Sequit's on medium compounded tyres right now, so his tyre's going to make it.
I think he might be able to make it if everything maintains, but it might be very difficult for him. We'll have to see if he's not using so much degradation. But Sequit doesn't have that much ERS either, so...
I think he's going to use this lap to try and recharge. If he can get close enough to Talon, recharge this lap, then take the fight to the Alpha.
He was actually on the mediums, actually in the pits, so he has the same lap as Sequit. So that's kind of interesting that he's pitting now.
Soft tyres on Biga's Merc. Well, Secret is though within a tenth of a second of Talon, less than a tenth of a second now, as they both almost clipped the wall there. Talon's in trouble, Secret's here to go around the outside. There's almost contact between the two of them, but they do make it round. It's now a Red Bull 1 and 2 here at Baku.
Yeah, so far the biggest winner tonight is Ducky Falcon. He started up near the front, always been pretty consistent, and due to some incidents involving the top leaders, he's able to capitalize on that.
So, note from the fastest lap on the YouTube saying that Secret is not going to make it on his tyres. I am in there's a pharmacy there, so someone can get their burn oil. But yeah, I think Secret is going to he's going to have to do a mega job if he wants to finish in P2 today. I think if he wants to finish on the podium, he's going to have to do a mega job.
Right, and he might have to sacrifice his positions, a couple positions, as long as he can keep his tires and kind of slow down in certain sections. But You know, 6 laps. It's this track. The degradation is just so high here. That's going to be tough. And at this point, I don't know unless we get another safety car. But we already saw from Biga. He already came into the pit, so he already knows that those tires can definitely wear out.
I want to make a note quickly on M9H. The golden driver is in P4. He will inherit the podium if Secret pits. But people fighting for the podium row is Seafreeze and iRoll. Seafreeze is going to go up the inside of iRoll. iRoll does have front wing damage, so we'll have to be aware. Obviously, we saw the front wing damage from when he made contact with Joe Breezy. And Seafreeze confidently through, though, into turn 1.
Yeah, I think iRoll just kind of let him go there. I think iRoll just trying to keep the car together until the end.
Trying to keep his nose clean, I think, after this race.
Well, he didn't do a good job with that with Joe Breezy, but things happen.
Speaking of Joe Breezy, he's just passed. He's just set the fastest lap, and he's just passed Go To Guy. So he's looking for that fastest lap point. Unfortunately, in P13, you won't get that, son.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. And plus, he has a 3-second time penalty. But that time penalty was because he couldn't get around one of these corners when he had that massive broken wing. But unfortunately, that situation just kind of compounded itself.
At one point, I remember, failed who you are. Different names on different platforms get me confused. I have a very tiny brain which yells about racing cars too much. Petre, 5 laps to go. Who we gonna? We can't call it now, can we? Surely we can't.
No, we can't call it now, but I think Dougie Falcon is still in a great position to win this race, and I think he'll probably go ahead and do that. But you have to keep an eye on Sequit on those medium tires. 16 laps, that's pretty tough. And as Fail said in the chat, he probably can't make it on those. So we'll have to see the next few laps what happens. If he gets punctured, he decides to come to the pits. But Talon is still with them. He should be able to capitalize on that. And M9, Golden Driver, may have an opportunity to get a podium here. Seafreeze is still... Oh, I say M9, sorry.
Yeah, M9 is going to have to do some serious work, though, if he wants to stay ahead of Seafreeze, who is obviously flying with new tyres, or newer tyres.
But Seafreeze is pushing his car. He's trying to pick up as fast as he can. I don't know if he'll be enough, though. Still a lot of ground to cover with a limited amount of laps.
Failed has put his protection in. He said it's going to be Dougie, Talon, and M9. I would love to see Seafreeze get beaten by a Golden Driver on pace.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
I want this to happen. Professional, though, is going to pass Doff. They're side by side, and Doff having to bail out his wing is absolutely knackered, more than my granddad after a weekend in the garden.
I think Phil's going to be right. There's going to be a nice battle between Seafreeze and M9, possibly for the last podium position, but we'll see what happens.
You know what's really going to help out M9? Is if second place and third place start battling. Oh, look, they are.
Oh, yeah. So, Talon is still maintaining in the DRS between Secret. So, I think he might have a shot to try to battle back here, but Secret's running wide.
In some serious trouble. He's got tyres. Yes. I'm trying to think of a likeness. Bolder than Jason Statham? That'll do. And Professional with a time penalty. 5 seconds. Oh, that's a nasty one, isn't it?
Well, here comes Sequit now. Here comes Talon now on Sequit.
Should be a pretty simple move there, and this is on tyres. And you see the Red Bull just having to rescind it, and Talon back into P2, and there's just a second gap between Seafreeze and M9, and I think we're all shouting, wanting M9 to finish on the podium today.
Yes. I think M9's been doing a great job keeping his nose clean all race long. Start from the rear, and like I said, with all these safety cars, allows drivers like M9 to come through the field because he kept his nose clean, and he kind of survived throughout the entire race and allows him to be in this position now.
Secret 3 tenths away from Talon, so there's still pace in that car, but I think Secret's really starting to struggle on the rubber that he's currently got on the car. And I think he's at the point now of past the point of no return. He's going to start to think, right, I'm going to have to risk it. He makes contact, he hit Talon! Oh no! It's all gone wrong, they've blocked it!
Oh, here comes M9. M9's getting involved in it. Seafreeze gets involved with it. It's been a pile up.
Was entirely
M9 definitely
Secret's
lost
fault.
swing.
and I roll with a 5-second penalty for a severe collision, and stewards are going to be very busy tonight, and Talon is going to be seething.
M9 lost some front wing. I think Seafreeze did too. I'm not sure. Seafreeze kind of came in there a little bit late.
Yeah,
but
he
M9,
does. And
he
M9
lost
in
it.
the wall. M9's in the
It's
wall.
in the wall. Yeah,
Oh,
he had nothing.
no.
He had nothing to work with there. That's unfortunate. Worn tires.
I'll tell you what, right? They put on ghosting for this race, and he didn't help in that situation at all, did it?
Yeah, no, that's unfortunate. I think in that short shoot with them going so slow. Oh, M9 just trying to make it back.
Oh, no.
It's just so tight. That's unfortunate because he was prime for a podium position.
We're all heartbroken. All utterly heartbroken there. Damaso looking for a top 4 finish, though.
He might do well for the McLaren team today.
M9 retiring in pit lane by the looks of it.
Yeah. Well, he didn't have much skin in the game. I think he made a good showing today for the Golden class. Unfortunately, he got involved in an incident, not to make it of his own, just a victim of it.
No, and I think Secret might be sent to the stewards and given a big slap for that one.
Yeah, Secret is he's on those worn mediums now. 19 laps. He's going to go all the way. Those tires are pretty worn right now. So is Seafreeze, but Seafreeze is actually taking a look on Secret right now.
Yeah, I said that I wonder if he's getting to the point of past the point of no return, where it's like, well, my tyres are going to either survive or explode. I'm going to risk it, because pitting now would be detrimental, and unfortunately, we saw the lack of grip, lack of downforce, and he just nailed the back of Talon's Alfa Romeo and sent him into the wall, and then proceeded to bump him along the straight. It was a proper Austin Powers moment.
Yeah, also, too, Joe Breezy. That allows Joe Breezy to get back to the points. And don't forget, he has the fastest lap, so at least 2 points right now he'll definitely gain. But if he makes his move on to Be Good, he can get another 2 points. Oh, Seafreeze. Pretty tight there.
Joe Breezy looking to have 3 points to his name. He's going to get close to the back of Be Good. Shall if you see anything, Dre?
I don't know. Right now I'm watching with Seafreeze is going to make a move on P2. Doesn't quite get there.
Tell you who will make a move, though. Here comes Breezy to the inside line on Be Good. 2 seasoned drivers in TCR knowing what they're doing. DRS open now as Doff Van Hoist gets passed by Seagrist.
We got a Seagrist, Seaquit, and Seafreeze. So if you see us stumble over those names, it's just unfortunate.
That's why mine's pretty simple. JB13 UK. My initials, my number, where I'm from. Secret, under pressure. See, now you make me do it. Dolph putting pressure on Seacrest. Oh, I'm tired after this one.
He tried to make a move there, but unfortunately didn't pan out. So far, Joe Breezy, P9. I think he might have a shot at getting Doth as well. Doth is running. I don't know if he has weak damage, but he's definitely feeling the effects of those those tires on this long stint.
Doff does have wing damage. I think on both sides, actually. Both sides of the wing, so no end plates on that car as he comes through the castle section. Very well done to control it. He's just trying to survive. Yeah, well, there's points on the board somewhere. Just gotta find them.
But man, can't give enough credit to Dougie Falcon. 11 seconds over everyone else. Granted, there were some incidents that caused additional time on that, but he kept his nose clean, and he's like he's going to go and win this race.
Dougie's sat there with blinkers on.
D-Freeze is going to try another game. He's going to get DRS, use some of his ERS, and try to get past Sequit for P2.
Sector 1 yellow flag, that's Toaster in the wall. And here we go for P2. Seafreeze to the inside line, that's going to turn to the outside line, sorry. And he is through.
On the final lap.
So, final lap pass, and I think that's going to be it. Secret is going to... I don't think he'll be on the podium, to be honest, after the stewards have got involved, but he is in 3rd place at the end of this. Damaso, though, has passed I-Roll. Well done to Damaso. I believe a relatively young driver to Platinum Class is doing very well to show up the old boy of I-Roll.
Oh, yeah.
Doff in trouble! Really well. Doff's in the wall! Reversing the Alfa Romeo out. The number 13 car is going to try and get the car started. There we go. And he's not done what Manavir Ragnarfan did in Formula 2 last year.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for a dog. I think he was doing pretty well today.
I think a smaller
Got
wall for
another
me to be able
incident
to say that
somewhere.
name fine. That's Mick running wide.
I think he did the exact same thing.
Sector 2, someone's in trouble. I think that's Secret. No, it's Toaster. He sat in the wall at the castle section.
Oh,
Just sat there. He's
it's like
got
the
his
Austin
wheel off at
Power.
this point. Do you reckon he's got his wheels off at this point, thinking, I don't want to drive anymore?
Oh, it's the last lap.
There we go. Been black flagged. I think he'll still be classified P16 on the standings, but he has been disqualified for being parked in a dangerous location. But untouchable is the words I would use after the second safety car of the race. Dougie Falcons, he's weaving, he's swerving, he is going to win the race here in Baku. Finally back on the top step for the English. Will be P2 mark.
But P3. But great run by Damaso as well. He did a really great job.
I think Damaso's in a great position. He could inherit a podium today.
Yeah, we have to see what happens with the stewards, but I think there's going to be a lot of post race changes between positions depending on how things work out with stewards. But Joe Breeze, the points leader, only gets 2 points today, while his championship rival Seafreeze got involved in some incidents, but managed to work through it, and he finished second. So great run by Seafreeze today.
Well, that was a phenomenal race. And the 1st of May, or at least it's the 1st of May in England, marks the anniversary of Senna's death. And obviously in America you still have the anniversary of Roland Ratzenberger's death. And I think that we've done them proud with such an entertaining race today.
Oh yeah, I think it was really great. It was nice to see all everyone's comments in the chat. But great run by Dougie. Great run by Red Bull, senior and sister teams. Great run by them.
All Red Bull Honda powered cars on the podium. Remember, Red Bull effectively having 4 cars in Formula 1. And no, Lee, I'm not going to bed. Interviews will be fun.
Yeah, we got Dougie Falcon winner, followed by Seafreeze, Sequit, Damaso on P4, great run by him. Iro, Secret, Golden Driver, great run by him. Go-to guy, professional, be good, Joe Breeze, the championship leader, got involved in an incident down to P10. Talon, Xandamar got in some incidents early on. Unfortunately, he's been relegated to the end. Bam Bam, Golden Driver, doing it great well. Unfortunately, got involved in some incidents as well. Darth Hoyce, Mick, M9 had a great run today. Got third, but unfortunately got involved in an incident. Keochin fatal, Kuzi and Toaster. That is your entire grid for this round of round 11 at Azerbaijan.
Whew, that was fun. They kept us all on toes, didn't they?
They did, yes.
Incident filled. I think this is a race that very much resembles 2017 at Baku rather than 2016. I believe Daniel Ricciardo would yell, "Well done, Baku."
Oh yeah, so definitely the Red Bulls did well today. Definitely did.
Alpha, yeah. Apologies for it going blue as I'm doing the invites today. Where are we looking for? It was Seafreeze, Dougie, and Secret, wasn't it? Do I have Secret on my friends list? Possibly not. Let's invite those two, and I can get Secret out of off here because he might be hiding offline. Cheeky mare. Is he hiding offline? He is hiding offline. Let's invite him into the party. That button. Then we'll get a look at the Red Bull car, which we see so often in TCR on the screen. Apologies again for it going blue. We'll get the drivers in. Dre, are you okay handling the interviews?
Sure, no problem.
I know we're all a bit exhausted after that race. So we have Dougie joined us already. And Seafreeze in as well.
Let's see if we get Sequid in here.
Fantabulous.
There we go. So I think we have everyone here. First of all, let's go with the race winner, Dougie. You were in the top 5 most of the race, and managed to work your way up through the field and kind of find yourself in the lead after a couple of safety cars. So what happened?
I don't know. It was a good race. Hey, I don't know what happened. I was confused in the second stop. So I understood why Freeze pitted, because I saw he had contact with Breeze and he saw damage. But I didn't understand why Breeze pitted, because he did seem to have damage. So I was like, it was very confusing times, and I was just like, oh, okay, I just inherit the lead. So there was that. Qualifying, I disconnected on my fast run. Probably could have got up top 4 with that lap, but unfortunately couldn't complete it. It was just one of those races where it kind of fell at my lap. I just took it. I learnt my lessons from last year from just learning my lessons, and just took it easy. I didn't push the car at all. I was a bit worried about the only time I pushed was in the first lap just to break DRS, and after that it was just coasting and not pushing the tires or brakes or crashing into turn 8. Just doing my best, and it just ended up being a victory. So it was pretty good.
We're great, Ron. JB, do you have any questions for Dougie?
Trying to think now. When it came to the safety car restart, you held back a little bit more. Was it your plan to try and just coast a bit further on than everyone else would have done? Because we saw Go dropped it pretty early into that corner.
Yeah, that was the plan was to keep the temperatures up, because obviously you need your tire temps to be up, because you're on a straight and your tires are just going to be freezing cold at the first corner. So I was just like trying to warm them up as best I could, which kind of was holding other people up, but it wasn't as bad as I'd imagined. But it was one of those things that kind of I tried doing. It worked out at the end, but it was one of those things. But it puts me back in the championship hunt. I know the win, I should say, and I don't think I'll win it though, but we'll have to wait and see.
Ooh.
Great job. I think Seafreeze, you had one of the most craziest, because you started near the front, then you found yourself in the top two position. Safety cars, you get involved in an incident. Next you know, you had to pit twice, because I don't know if you missed putting your wing on, and next you know, you were like in 17th, and then another safety car, and then you found yourself in second. What happened?
Alright, this is a little quite complicated, although I'm kind of pissed at the moment, even though the result is still not what I went out here to do. I'd like to thank Codemasters for messing my race up. Almost, I had to back myself off, not to curse there, because
Let's go for it, mate. Come on, it's a late night show. Let's go for it.
Well, you know what? We got the interviews here, but nobody watches them because they're boring. So I'm a hype them up a little bit, you know. That's my job here.
Take your trousers off. Take your trousers off too.
So Codemaster, I don't know why the wing doesn't change when I have a yellow wing set to auto. Like, I don't think I need to tell my crew chief or whatever, whoever he is, to change my wing. So that's why I had a double pit there, because the game screwed me over.
Phil says he's watching.
You are watching? Alright, great, awesome, cool. Also, I'd like to take TCR, Red Bull, Fanatec, Torodos, and Race Dash for the race today. Got to get my sponsors in, even though I'm not technically sponsored. But great. I don't know. Good to get the result. I gained a lot of points over Breezy.
And we were discussing that. We said you may have had a bad day, but you won. You're the driver of the day compared to on points wise.
Yeah, I think I don't have the championship sits, but this actually worked really well for me, so I'm kind of happy, but I went here to win. I'm more worried about the win. Although going on that overtake with Breezy, I don't know what actually happened. I thought I was we were, I think, equal going in. I had the inside, tight corner. I thought I had the right to it. I gave him as much room on the outside, and he lost on traction, which I think brought him into me, which is not my fault. I don't think, but I got to rewatch it, so I'm not going to go crazy on him. Although then he also made a mistake there on after, which put him in that situation. But I think if he didn't get that wing damage, it would have been, maybe he would have had second today. But overall, I'd just like to say that I'm very disappointed in all the action. I heard a lot of bad things with the drivers and stuff, and we got to clean it up because next year it's going to be no line, and you can't follow somebody. Even though you're quicker, you can't follow somebody right behind, and I think that's why you get the yo-yo effect, especially in the middle sector here. So with the no line next year, people better watch out because you can't be doing that sort of thing. So people got to clean it up, but there's no way I should come from 17th on lap 19 or whatever to second. I mean, I had a crazy end of the race, but theoretically, I guess that wouldn't have happened, but I don't know. It's a little jumbled of a race. I'm pretty sure I'm going to rewatch it over, but overall, I'm kind of pissed that I didn't win today, because I think I could have. But regardless, we'll take it.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It was we could never settle because something was going on. I think we had 3-4 safety cars. Leaders were dropping left and right in the early section. But let's go with Sequit. He kind of came out of nowhere. I think you started like P6 or P7, and for the most part, you kind of kept your nose clean. How did you manage to get P3?
Actually, I was 20th after the first corner, and then I got to 11th.
Oh, that's right. You did get involved in the incident in the first lap.
Yeah, I hit that guy. I don't know what his name is. Forgot, but yeah. I don't know what happened in the first corner, but yeah, some contact on the front. Was in P20. Got to P11 within the second lap. Avoided carnage out throughout the field. And once the safety car came out, I had a damaged wing from the first incident, and I never really changed it the whole race.
What happened between you and Talon and the council section?
That he was lagging most of the race on my screen, like popping back and forth, and I need to look over the footage again, but I'm pretty sure into that corner, his car might have jumped back on me because it was kind of like testy-turny with it, but it was doable. But he almost ran into the back of me once too because it was just like a very laggy race on my side to his side. So it is what it is, and I apologize to him after it. So
it sounds like the Platinum Stewards are going to be pretty busy resolving a lot of these issues. So I think a lot of you guys are going to have to. We'll see if the final results are. But I think a great run to the top three of you. Great finish. Probably really great for a day for you. C3 is on points wise. Probably not a good race day, but JB, you have anything else?
Question to C3s. You were behind Joe Breezy and Iroll when made contact at turn 1. Now, I'm adamant that I saw Iroll turning into Joe. Can you comment on that, or would you have to look back?
I'd probably have to look back, but I thought it was Breezy's fault.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm talking post the incident on the run to turn 2.
Yeah, no, with Roll and Breezy.
Yeah, it seemed that Iroll was turning and pushing towards the wall.
I mean, it's tight. You got to race tight, but I think Breezy just turned in and hit the wall. That's what I saw. I think there was enough room there. Maybe it was squeeze, perhaps, but I mean, from what I just learned, I think they were side by side going through, and I think Breezy just turned in too early. But I don't think he was pushed down there by Roll.
Okay.
But I wasn't really focusing on that. Although once that happened, I don't know, I slammed way on the brakes because I'm like, all right, Breezy's got heavy damage. I'm not getting damage with him. So I don't know if you saw, but I pulled all the way over to the pits, and I'm like, I'm just chilling because this is not my issue. This is not my problem, so don't bring me into it. So yeah, then we kept going. But yeah, I don't know. I think there was I mean, it is Baku. You're gonna see it. Real F1, you see it all the time. I think there was one either 17 or 18. You had a crazy race. This track brings that type of racing. You see it all the time. I think if we went to another track, the racing would be fine. Maybe one here and there, but you're gonna have your turn 1 incident. You're going to have your castle, your turn 16, down the stretch. It's just how this track is. It's hard to overtake, and you get caught behind people. That's why I see these long trains, because people are so much quicker than others. But you can't pass in the middle sector, so you just wait for the long straight, So it's how it is. but it should be a little bit better. But I'm just saying, next year with the line off, these guys better be focused because they can't be sitting right behind a guy like that. Otherwise, you're gonna crash everyone out because you don't rely on that racing line at that point. But, yeah.
That was a good monologue.
Yeah, sorry for going on a tangent. I'm just kind of.
Okay,
I don't know if anyone
let's
listening.
not
I'm
ask
just
Chris a
you probably
question
should have ended
when
the
he's
stream maybe
shaking
5
with
minutes ago,
anger.
you know, because I could go for another half hour. Or
Let's
something
everyone
like that,
sit
but-
down
Over
and
the
not throw a helmet at someone.
Yeah, so
Well, yeah, I was going to say a lot of the stewards, the platinum stewards, are going to be busy. I think a lot of these issues won't be solved until the next race, and so we'll see what happens.
I think
Last to third.
one final question from me, and this is the secret. Last week, post the stream, there was a long discussion we all had. Obviously, we can't comment about that, but it was between you and another driver had made contact last week at Italy.
Yeah,
Today,
should see
you
it again.
also made contact with that driver. Are you starting to get annoyed with that?
I honestly don't know who you're talking about. I'm sorry, I don't know.
Real cute, real cute.
I'm not going to push it then. I'm not going to push it.
I race.
it's an
I
interteam
don't.
issue.
One's at a lower team than me, so I don't really talk to the lower teams like that. But you know, it is.
I wonder.
The
I
other
wonder
one's
if
doing really
the
well.
points show the same standard. Because right now we're
well,
ahead of you guys.
One
by the
person
way.
finished dead last and didn't have his day, and I went from third. I went from 20th to third.
Is this your first podium of the year, bud?
Yeah, it is.
Ah,
Unexpected, I hate.
congratulations! I think you maybe
Thanks, man.
you maybe took out 5 drivers on the way there, but
Okay, let's
I
end the
was
stream
thinking-
now
pretty good.
before it gets
All right,
violent.
I gotta go take a pee break. I'll see you next week in Spa. I'm out of here.
Name the 5
Next week,
drivers.
Spa.
Name the 5 drivers.
On this situation, we're now going to end the stream. Thank you so much for joining us. Dre, any closing thoughts?
No, I'm looking forward to Spa. It's a great track. I think if this drama continues, it'll definitely continue at Spa as a high-speed track and high-speed corners. So we'll see what happens. High tempers as well.
I think the tempers are already high. We'll see you next week in Spa. TCR returns on Tuesday with the silver class drivers, on Wednesday with the golden class drivers, then I'll be back on Thursday with the platinum class drivers. Have a very good weekend and stay safe, everyone. Ta-ra, guys.